This week's Torah portion is called Ekev, which is a heel. This word seems out of place in the opening verse of this week's Torah portion. If we were to change the word from heel to if, then the opening verse would make perfect sense. By changing the word Ekev, chapter 7, verse 12 would read, "And it will be, if you will heed these ordinances and keep them and will do them, then the Lord your God will keep you and the covenant and the kindness that was sworn to your forefathers." The obvious question is, why does this verse use the Hebrew word for heel instead of the Hebrew word for if? According to rabbis such as Rashi, this highlights the importance of the whole Torah, including aspects of Torah that people might commonly trample under their heels. Just because people might be trampling certain commands from Torah under their heels does not diminish their importance. A good example of this is Lashon Hara, the evil tongue. Gossip is so common in our society that we hardly even notice it. Yet Torah takes Lashon Hara very seriously. That's because Lashon Hara, especially when spoken in the family, leads to parental alienation. Unfortunately, parental alienation is another issue that commonly gets trampled underfoot until it escalates into a crisis. However, when we understand that parental alienation is a form of child abuse, then we understand why Torah exhorts us to take such issues seriously. The DSM is a diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorders that psychiatrists worldwide use to diagnose patients. V995.51 is the relevant diagnosis for our study. The definition for this is non-accidental verbal or symbolic acts by a child's parent or caregiver that result or have reasonable potential to result in significant psychological harm to the child. The DSM gives an example of this as harming, abandoning people or things that the child cares about, threatening future harm, abandonment. This is child psychological abuse according to the DSM. The mere act of speaking Lashon Hara against children's parents who they love is psychological abuse against those children. Unfortunately, it's also an issue that people commonly trample under their heels. Torah reminds us just how important it is to watch what we say to children, even when those around us are commonly speaking Lashon Hara. We have learned that the Jewish Bible, called the Tanakh, closes on the words of the prophet Malachi. "Behold, I will send you Eliyahu the prophet before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord, and he shall return the heart of the fathers on the children, and the heart of the children on their fathers, lest I will come and smite the land with isolation." What can happen if we can manage to succeed in areas that we take for granted, like watching what we say to children? Verses 13 through 15 continue, "And he will love you and will bless you and will multiply you. And he will bless the fruit of your womb, the fruit of your soil, your grain, your wine, your oil, the offspring of your cattle, and the choice of your flocks in the land that was sworn to your forefathers to give you. You will be blessed from all the nations. There will be no sterile male or barren female among you or your animals. The Lord will remove from you all illness, and none of the evil diseases of Egypt that you knew he will not set upon you, but will put them upon all your enemies." Next week's Torah portion is called Ra'eh, and we'll review our code of laws. What will be the blessings if we keep these laws and the curses if we violate them?